Alright, moving on to the next video in the used car series, we're going to be changing the spark plugs and coil boots in this 2007 Ford Focus. But procedure is pretty much the same for almost every other gasoline engine. So, first thing you want to do obviously is pop the hood. As you can see on this 4-cylinder engine, there's 4 coils on the spark plugs. That design is referred to as coil on plug. So what you need to do is remove the electrical connectors and then remove the, in this case, they're 8mm bolts that hold the coils on. Got those 4 10mm bolts holding the coils on. But you can remove the coil, and the best way to do this is just do one at a time. Remove the electrical connector and then remove the coil itself. That way, doing one at a time, you'll ensure that you're plugging the coil connector up to the right coil. It's hard to get them mixed up, but it's just better safe than sorry. Down in there you can see our spark plug, so all you need next is just a ratchet, an extension, and in this case a 5/8 spark plug socket. Put it on the spark plug, make sure you unloosen, and loosen it up. Sometimes they're a little sticky coming out. I'm pretty sure these have never been changed, and it's got 106,000 miles on it. So, it needed to be done. There it is. Regular spark plug. Now you can't just put the spark plug in there willy-nilly. As you can see here, in between this is the grounding strap, and in the middle, if it'll focus, in the middle is the electrode. That's the spark goes from that electrode to the grounding strap. If that gap is too high or if it's a large gap, it'll affect the way the engine runs. It'll be harder to burn all the fuel. If it's too short, it might not fire at all. So what you want to do is go ahead and look in your owner's manual. In the table of contents, it'll say you want maintenance product specifications and capacities, page 2. Once you find your engine, you'll find the gap that you need to set on the spark plug. In this case, it's 51 thousandths of an inch, give or take 2 thousandths. So once you figure that information out, you'll take your new spark plug and a tool like this that has the gaps on it and measure it and adjust if applicable. Now with the spark plug properly gapped, you can put it back in the socket and put it in the cylinder head, and then go ahead and do the 3 other ones. I forgot to mention, once you get the spark plug tightened in the cylinder head and it'll stop ratcheting, give it an 1/8 of a turn, and that's all as tight as it needs to be. What you also want to do is replace this coil boot on the spring, because over time, like any other rubber, they'll get brittle, break, fall apart, what have you. And you also want to replace that spring inside of there, which carries the electricity to the spark plug and ultimately makes a spark. So these just pull off of the coil, pull the spring out. And when you buy new boots, 95% of the time they'll come with the springs, as you can see. So take it out of the package, Actually, you want to put the spring on first. I forgot. There's no wrong way to orient this spring either. Put that on, slide the boot over. Then you can go ahead and put it on the spark plug. Make sure the spring stays on. Now that cylinder is done. Now go ahead and do the same thing on the other 3 cylinders, or however many cylinders your vehicle has. Pull the spark plug out, put the new one in, gap it first, then remove the boot and spring and replace those. Another thing I'd forgotten to mention is when you put this the new boot and the new spring on there, make sure you put a dab of dielectric grease in there. That way you get a good contact between the spring in there and the spark plug. Now that you got all the spark plug changed, you can go ahead and tighten down all the coils. We'll start it up and see how it sounds. See how it runs after we change the spark plugs. Runs just fine. That's it for this video. If it did help you, please subscribe. There is more to come. Otherwise, please like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.